So you clicked on this video because there's probably something you should be doing that you're pushing off because you're waiting to feel motivated or you're waiting for the right moment. How many times have you caught yourself saying, oh, I'll start when the time is right? How long have you been meaning to get around to that hobby or that side project? Spoiler alert, it's a trap. The right time is about as real as like a unicorn playing poker. How many times have you either said or heard from someone, oh, I'll start my YouTube channel when I get that perfect camera. I'll start saving next month when I can start on a clean slate. I'll wait till New Year's, January 1st to start that workout routine. Or I'll start writing my book when Mercury stops being in retrograde. So did that perfect time ever happen? Probably not. You don't need $1,000 camera to just hit record. In fact, I've been doing this whole intro on my cell phone. Cheers. Moving to the camera just for easier purposes. But basically, you don't need to wait for that boost of motivation to start your passion project or your side hustle. So why do we keep waiting to start? You have perfection paralysis. I just diagnosed you. And if you want the cure, if you want the motivation to just get going, this video is the cure. It is your prescription. You're welcome, and I take payment in forms of likes and subs. And this won't just be me rambling from my high horse. I've compiled research, history, quotes that are really gonna make you feel motivated to get out of bed and just get started on your goals. And take action today. Because waiting for the right time is like waiting for your pet rock to become a motivational speaker.
It's okay, Rocky. You go when you feel like it.
And let's get into it. So why did I choose this video topic? Honestly, I've been going through less than ideal circumstances lately. It's been a struggle this past month. Anyone who watches my videos knows that this is not my typical background. I've been having a moving nightmare. When I tell you job, stressful, rent increasing, moving, nightmare, living out of boxes for months. My diet has been non-existent this month. I've been living off of takeouts. My workout routine murked. My self-care routine RIP. I haven't had a good night's sleep in a long time. That's been stressful. I've been in a crappy mood because I've been stressed out about all of this. Did I mention I was stressed? Life has just been like taking me by like the hair and just like dragging me through the streets this month. Stomping me out. Backhanding me. Throughout all of this stress, I've just been telling myself, okay, when I move into my new apartment, then I'll start going to the gym. When I move into my new apartment, then I'll film my YouTube video. And that just kept getting pushed back and back and back. Honestly, I had to like slap some sense into myself. I cannot wait to feel better. I can't be a victim to my circumstance. So this is me filming, even though I don't have the right backdrop, I don't have the right setup. It is what it is, okay? We're rolling with it. So to understand how to get started, we need to dig into the root cause. Why do we put off what we're passionate about, what we want to start, until this like elusive, perfect time in the future? Life is less birds singing in harmony and more like a squirrel on crack. Am I allowed to say crack on YouTube? But here are 3 root causes of the perfectionism mindset, and let me know in the comments which one you relate to most. Society often glamorizes success, achievement, perfection. Don't even get me started on social media. You only see people's banging bodies on Insta. Nobody's posting their bloated stomach, like fat rolls on display after being 4 tacos deep. Like, no one's doing that. No one's on LinkedIn posting about their unemployment or that they're broke. There's not enough people showing their messy journey to success. So naturally, you're gonna feel dumb if you're just starting out something and you're like, my YouTube channel only has 10 views, this is so dumb, or no one's buying my online products, I feel like a failure. Like, you can be so embarrassed of that messy struggle in the beginning that you might not even start. Number 2 is the fear of making mistakes. The fear of making mistakes can be paralyzing. The thought of, what if I publish my book and nobody buys it, or what if I make my YouTube channel and it only gets, 5 views ever. And this kind of plays into my last point. The pressure to make it or to be successful is crushing. Your favorite YouTubers or artists like Mr. Beast or Beyonce, who have these millions, hundreds and millions of followers, right? At one point, Mr. Beast didn't have millions. Mr. Beast had 1 subscriber. At some point, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, they had 1 follower on Instagram. We all start somewhere. The third root cause of a perfectionism mindset is your upbringing and your parental expectations. Your childhood experiences and your parents' expectations of how you performed can have a significant impact on how you view pursuing your goals. Parents who set extremely high standards and said, you need to get straight A's, it's A's or it's nothing. If you don't get straight A's, you're punished, you're grounded. The parents who instilled fear of being anything less than amazing really can cause a lot of damage, because it places the idea into your child's mindset that I'm only good when I'm 100%. I'm only good when I'm perfect. And if I do anything less than that, I'm not good enough. I'm failing. I don't deserve this love. I'm going to be punished. There's negative consequences. If I'm not getting 100% success, it's not even worth trying. I'll just embarrass myself. I'll be a failure. Moving on, now that we know where this type of thinking comes from, let's talk about how it can display itself in really destructive ways. You're probably gonna feel called out on this one. Here are the top 5 reasons people procrastinate their goals. I'm gonna start with 5 and then count down to 1. Number 5 is waiting to feel better. To make this simple, if your actions towards your goals in life are always dependent on how you feel that day, it's not a great recipe for being successful. Like in a relationship, you're not gonna feel 100% loving towards your partner every single day of your life. But if you let your emotions just dictate how you act towards them, and you're gonna act crazy if you feel crazy, that's probably not the best recipe for relationship success. Number 2 is waiting for the right tools and over preparing. I am a nerd for organizing, planning, researching, getting a game plan. But when I tell you, you have to put a timer on that. I prepared for my YouTube channel for literally years before I just hit record. I did not need years to prepare. Preparing is good and all, but you know the saying, you're not gonna grow muscle reading about push-ups. Number 3, the third reason people procrastinate is having no time. This one's gonna hurt. You have time. Hear me out. I'm not saying you have hours to spare, but there are probably ways you can be more efficient with the time you do have. If you're trying to write a book or script for a podcast, you can probably brainstorm in the shower instead of listening to music or watching a YouTube video. If you want to read more, you can probably read on your commute to work instead of scrolling on your phone. If you want to learn more about computer coding, you could probably watch some YouTube videos as you're cooking dinner or while you're pooping, because we all know you're probably scrolling on Instagram when you're doing your business. Check your social media screen time before you make excuses about not having time. Once it's down to 0, let's go from there. And then if you still can't find time, try just waking up a little bit earlier, even if it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Think about that. 15 minutes, even just 4 days a week, that's 1 hour of improving your skill, working on your craft. And the number 1 reason I've heard for pushing off getting started is not having any energy. You might have half an hour after work. That doesn't mean your brain is literally in the mindset to be creative. I get that. You can't just muscle your way through it all the time. Here's the thing. Just do something. Inch your way through it. Worm your way through it. Even if you have an hour after work and you want to read a book, you don't need to pressure yourself to read a chapter or even 10 pages or even 5 pages. Start with reading 1 paragraph or literally just 2 sentences. But at the end of the day, guess what? You did it. You got moving. You started. Now I'm going to give you some just quick motivational tips as to why you need to kick the perfect timing to the curb and start taking action today. 1, all of the time that you've wasted thinking about it, pushing it off, you could have just done it by now. Number 3 is always remember action builds motivation. A lot of people think you need to be motivated to get started, you need to be motivated to get to the gym. No. You can literally start walking to the gym and get on the treadmill, and it's action that actually builds momentum, that builds motivation. The 4th reason to push through and get started today is your circumstance being not perfect is actually an opportunity. It's easy to accomplish goals and to go to the gym and to start that podcast when you feel good. But it's moments like this that build character. When you're down, when you're feeling sad, when you're in a rut, You get the choice of, are you gonna let this consume you whole? Are you gonna beat yourself up over it? Or are you gonna say, actually, I'm not gonna let my circumstance completely dictate my mindset? I feel like one of those motivational guys. Are you gonna stay down or are you gonna get up? No, but for real, getting up, dusting off the dirt, and saying, let's go, that builds character. You're doing yourself a favor doing that, because you're proving to yourself you can do this bare bones. And now think about how great you'll actually be and how far you're gonna get when the conditions are better. You will launch. You'll have that much more experience under your belt. And the fifth motivational tip to just get started is actually kind of sad, but it's regret. Don't one day your life away. We could all die tomorrow and you would have never gotten the chance. People blink and they're like 80 years old and wished that they had quit their job to start their own business or started going to the gym or whatever. Some of the greatest achievements in history have been done in less than ideal conditions. There are people who accomplished extraordinary things who did not wait for the stars to align. They made their own luck. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, did not wait for perfect employees or the right space. He started the company from his parents' garage, and they obviously revolutionized the tech industry. If Steve Jobs can change the world from his garage, you can do it too. So how are you going to actually do it? I love the quote, the best time to get started was yesterday, the second best time is today. It's time to put on your own imaginary cape and be your superhero in this crappy circumstance. Take that first step. Even if it's wobbly, even if it's awkward, here are some practical steps you can do today. Number one is redefine perfection. Understand that perfection doesn't mean flawless, it means progress. If you're depressed and all you've been doing is staring at the wall and scrolling on your phone for days or weeks, literally maybe just scroll on your phone for 10 minutes instead of an hour. Maybe just take a shower. If that's the best you can do today, that's a win. Number two is schedule it in. Treat your goals with the same respect and priority that you give to other commitments. Put it on your calendar and honor that time that you give to your job, that you give to meeting up with your friends. Block it off. This is my time to focus on me. I'll do it someday. Someday is not a day of the week. Schedule it in. Number three is stop guilting yourself today for everything that you didn't do yesterday or last month. Empathize with yourself. Understand that you were going through something that was valid and that is why you didn't start. You can have compassion with yourself and also know that you need to change. As always, I'm going to end my video on question prompts that you should think about, journal about, reflect on. What have you been putting off and waiting for a good time? What have been your excuses? No time, no motivation, no energy. What is the step you can take today? Right after this video, what's something you can do right now? Even if it's just scheduling in a future time to get started. Your homework is leave a comment down below with what you're gonna do today. It can be as something as I'm gonna call my secret admirer and tell them that I'm actually in love with them. Or it could be as simple as I'm gonna shower today because I've been depressed all week and not showered. A win is a win. Life is just too short to wait for a unicorn poker game or a pet rock motivational speaker. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go have a heart-to-heart with my pet rock about chasing his dreams. Bye, guys.